All right. Almost there. So you all can see my presentation? Yes. Great. Okay. Oh, okay, guys. Okay, so just a quick overview of what we're going to talk about. Um, you all here because you are thinking that you have some kind of sleeping problem, or feeling really tired, want some more energy. So I'm going to talk about things that could be affecting your sleep or contributing to a poor sleep resting phase. Um, Strategies to implement what can support this not to happen, and how breathwork can be used to help you perform and just be feeling a lot better during the day. We also going to have the bonus boat test, stress tolerance, that we're going to do. Um, but that's going to be towards the end. Um, I just have to find a way to admit everybody before. Okay. I don't really know how to do it. Okay, there we go. So, for as I said a little bit earlier, I know a lot of people that are here today, or a lot of people that will be here today. But some people I haven't met yet, and some of you may know me. I'm Natalie. I'm a physiotherapist since 2006. I have, my early career was on orthopedics, concussion training or concussion rehab. And in 2024, I found I created Inspirit Breath, and this became like a passion of mine since breathwork came to my life. Um, a little bit over a year ago, that's when I started this practice. Um, okay, more people joining us. Um, Sorry, just in or technology is not my best friend, so I apologize. I'm going back and forth admitting people, but let's go here. Okay. So this is who I am. So I am in Canada. A lot of people here close to me, but some people from far away. I want to welcome you to today. Um, the reason why I wanted to bring this workshop, this is my second workshop about breath work, but why I wanted to bring this to you and how I'm so passionate about it. Seeing patients in clinic, for regular physio, I was seeing just a common thing that I couldn't really help my patients to improve. Sometimes they were showing signs of things that I couldn't really put my finger on it. And then, they all anxious. A lot of people are anxious nowadays. A lot of people having a hard time sleeping or feeling rested. And this is why I wanted to talk about sleep specifically this time, because I have a lot of concussion patients as well that have a hard time sleeping after the injury. And this is so important. Sleep is just the base of our days, right? We need the sleep to be able to do anything the next day. I am a mom too. My daughter is a little bit older, but if you are a parent, you can probably relate to that, those months or years for some that you are sleep deprived. And even I like to remind people that at one point, sometime, people would torture other people with sleep deprivation. So this is how bad it could be not to sleep. Um, so let's go over. So here are the concerns that you brought to me when you signed up for this workshop. A lot of common ones. We had almost 40 people signing up for this workshop, which is so exciting for me. I'm nervous, if you can't tell, but a lot of common ones. So I made a mix here of the ones that I saw the most. A lot of people waking up in the middle of the night. 3 a.m. seems like a good time for you to wake up. Or multiple wake ups, right? Nobody mentioned being a mom or this being a problem with kids particularly, but I can relate to that one a lot. Trouble falling asleep at night, right? So not that being able to quickly just go. Restless mind as going to bed, like really can't, turning it off, right? Turning that switch off so you can rest. Anxiety is always a winner. Like people relate to that a lot, and I think it's a world problem. A lot of very, very interesting to me. We're not going to talk specifically about anxiety today, but it comes with the sleep deprivation and the sleep issues. Fibromyalgia, and waking up. Actually, IBS, right? The like gut issues. Temporomandibular dysfunction, so like jaw pain. Diabetes was another one that came up a couple times as a concern in terms of like something else that was going on in your guys' life. And a big one for me, or that I think is really, really pertinent for us here, is the waking up not feeling rested. This is a big one. I think this is probably wins. And the one thing that I kind of circled here, right, is sleep apnea. And although nobody on this group of 36 people, nobody mentioned that. And the reason why I brought it up is because I'm going to show you in a second, is because sleep apnea is very, very common, and it's a silent thing. And if you take a look, we are here with people from Canada in this call, and there's people from the States. So here in Canada, the last study was almost 10 years ago, showed that 77% of Canadians have been diagnosed with sleep apnea. In the States, it's close to 20, also because the studies were a little bit newer than this one. But I want to relate that to, I want to point out that in Canada, at least, who is looking for those symptoms? We have an interesting healthcare system right now here in Canada. And if you are not pushy with your doctor, they're not gonna really look for anything if you don't have a concern. And if you look at the concerns here of the people, or the symptoms that people with sleep apnea have: tiredness, dry mouth and snoring, difficult concentrating, less alert, frequent wakings, feelings of anxiety, depression, or irritability, and headaches. I mean, I don't see a lot of you, but this is so, so common. And if we go back to the other slide, it's really, really similar. So I think the first, my responsibility as a healthcare provider is to always rule out what could be the biggest issue, right? And for this conversation, I think sleep apnea, or the possibility of people having sleep apnea, is a concern that we have to investigate and ask your doctor, and create a questionings, right? If what your symptoms are showing could be something else, like sleep apnea. And yeah, and that's what I said, who is looking for it? Nobody's gonna look for it if you are not bringing those concerns, unless it's a different healthcare model that we have here in Canada. I hope is different in the States, but I understand it might be even a little bit more complicated and expensive, right? Okay, so um oh, too far. Okay, so now this strategies. So this part, I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to try not to talk too much. um yeah, we will talk a little bit about this. um Someone was talking about menopause. It's a big one. But I'm gonna this session we'll talk about strategies, that I'm gonna give you advice, and then we're gonna talk about breath work. If you're wondering, we will get there. But those strategies are so important, and they might seem very obvious, but I want to bring this in a little different for you. So habit changes. So light meals at night. We might know this, right? Like, you guys might have heard us: light meals or heavy meals at night, or close to when you are wanting to sleep, um, will always be uh, not very convenient for you, not very good for you. So try to have light meals at night. If you eat a little bit later, right, or eat earlier in the evening, so you can digest your food before you go to bed. Exercise is very obvious, and it should be in your routine. And I can't stress enough that it doesn't have to be perfect. Exercise is so hard to implement. New routines are so hard to implement. And I always tell my patients that they don't have to do like the perfect job in the beginning, right? If it's realistic for you to exercise with consistency once a week, and you can have an hour that week that you're gonna, for sure, it's gonna be on your schedule, you're not gonna miss it. That's already a good start. Obviously, it's usually not enough, especially if you have sleeping problems, but that's the way to start. If you can commit with a day, if you're successful, you increase to one more day, and so on. even 10 minutes, right? If you can commit with 10 minutes a day, even, but it's only 10 minutes. I think there is I see a lot of people thinking that they have to commit for an hour, and then if they can't do that, they just say, okay, I'm not going to even try because I can't do it. Alcohol is a big no-no for if you have sleeping problems. I mean, obviously we do whatever, we all adults here will drink whenever we want to drink, but you want to take a look at your priorities. And one of you guys mentioned they having problems with their REM cycles, with the time of the sleep. One of the phases of sleep, REM cycle. And alcohol is it will definitely alter this specific time of the sleep. And it's it's the time of the sleep, it's the cycle that it's responsible for alertness, learning. So if you are drinking and unable to sleep, unable to be alert during the day, alcohol is probably contributing to that. And then caffeine. I am not here to tell you not to drink coffee or caffeine. I drink coffee daily. But the biggest thing that you can do for yourself to start regulate your body's responses and your hormones release is to wait a little longer until you take your first shot of coffee. So what I've been doing right now, I'm waiting half an hour to 45 minutes until I drink my coffee in the morning. So that's going to make your body actually wake up for alone on its own and not be, needing that caffeine to wake up. Screen time, it's very, very, known. You can, that's probably the first thing you have ever heard about how to sleep, or, with when you have issues sleeping or falling asleep, decrease screen time at night. But one thing that I want to point out now, after I read all of those things, is how sensitive you are to all those things. Some people might say, "Oh, I eat a bunch of food and I go to bed and I have no problem," or I drink beers and I go to bed and I don't wake up until the next day. It all depends on sensitivity to all those things. And if you're here, you're probably somewhat sensitive, right? So if you're doing a bunch of those things, more or less, it's likely that you need to be a little bit more consistent or a little bit better about keeping your schedule, or keeping those things happening for you, for you to improve your sleep. I'm going to leave breath work. I mean, we will talk about breath work, but I'm going to just talk a little bit about the circadian rhythm. And then those are tweaks that are possible for some. Maybe for us here on the up north, it's going to be a little bit different in the winter. So natural light exposure is something that you want to consider having at the first 30 minutes of your day. That kind of sets off a bunch of hormonal triggers for you to wake up. When you have the natural light exposure right in the morning, your hormones start to be released for you to, wake up and do the things and feel hungry and all those things. And that on its own will be, starting a clock for your melatonin to be started to be released about 12 hours later. So having that natural light in the morning will have your melatonin to be released 12 hours later, when it's more or less time to kind of quiet down. Here in the north, like sometimes we wait about 2 hours until we get some light in the winter, in the morning. So definitely it's a challenge, but it's something that you can try more towards the spring and summer. And then the same thing, like a darker or dim light in the nighttime and when the evening starts is also really, really powerful. And if you have big, ceiling lights in your house, consider dimming that, about 7, 8 o'clock at night. So you can start telling your body that it's time to quiet down and it's time to be prepared for sleeping. And then the consistency, I think I mentioned over and over how important to be consistent with your times or with the things, but now it's consistency with the time. Try to wake up the same time, try to go to bed more or less at the same time. It will always be a little different. We are social beings. We want to go out. We do this and we do that. And it will likely be, you're going to be changing a little bit. But at the same time, again, if you are sensitive, you're going to notice that your schedule gets all messed up once you go out or you stay late for too long that weekend. Um, okay, so there's a few extra things here that, again, some you are probably familiar with. But the first one that was really, really powerful for me, and then once I started doing this a year and so ago, I found it really, really helpful. And I probably had the best 2 nights of sleep that I had in my life, or maybe not in my life, but after kid, my daughter was, about 4 years old at that time. And I was still being woken up by, not necessarily by her, but just waking up, maybe not because of her. But the moment that I started to do mouth taping, it was really, really good. And I want to do, just a highlight here. Mouth taping is not for everybody, and it can be, I would say it's on a case by case scenario. So I'm not trying to say that you have to try it. I would love to talk to you about it. If you have questions and you would like to try mouth taping, feel free to reach out, so we can find out if it's the right thing for you or not. Because there are things that I would say maybe it's not right for you. And we have to, it's not my position right now to tell a bunch of people that mouth taping is good for everybody. But it is, and it can be very powerful. So you can look it up. There are brands, that things that you buy, you can use. Sometimes you can just use micropore. And yeah. And then nose breathing. So it goes together. Like mouth taping helps because you are forced to use your nose, right? So nose breathing can be hard for people that have, chronic allergies, people that have an actual blockage, a physical blockage, like a deviated septum. Um, Again, it can be something you can't do anything about it. You are, sometimes you have to breathe through your mouth when you are having those issues, like allergic issues, or something like that. But the point is, if you have a moment in your day that you can breathe through your nose, that means you have those passages all right. So it's just a matter of keep using them to maintain those passages open. And the more you use your nose to breathe, the more open those passages will be. So nose breathing, almost 100% of the time is beneficial for you, aside from when you are doing bigger exercise, like a higher intensity, moderate to higher intensity. Then you use your mouth to breathe. Supplements, I'm not here to talk too much about supplements, but big ones are magnesium biglycinate. Magnesium has a bunch of forms. Biglycinate is a form that will support sleep, relaxation, and really, really good for sleep. Ashwagandha is a supplement that I haven't used yet, but it has been shown to help insomnia a lot. And melatonin is the common one that everybody has taken, or a lot of people take it. I would always suggest going to someone that can actually give you advice, bigger advice on how much, for how long you should be using melatonin. Doctors are not always good on that, but a naturopath sometimes will be more helpful. Um, there's a lot of conflicting information on the healthcare world, but sometimes you're using melatonin too much or not the right way. All right, so the next item that I want to talk about is kind of meditation, or a form of meditation called NSTR, which goes for non-sleep deep rest, and it's also called, or can be called, yoga nidra, and it's a meditation that you can find really, really easy, and it gives you, or it puts you on a state of rest while you are still awake. That's why it's non-sleep deep rest. And it's a very powerful meditation. Um, you almost use it as that nap that you have in the afternoon if you really, really need it. Instead of doing an actual nap, I would totally recommend this meditation. I will be sending you guys my meditation. Is a very, very short meditation, but I've been having really, really good responses from my patients. Like, I had a patient that had a concussion recently, and she was just not sleeping at all, or she was sleeping 1 hour and then she would be awake for 3 hours. Anyway, I sent this audio for her, and together with all those little tweaks that I mentioned earlier, and she was sleeping like a baby, actual sleeping really, really well since then. And the last thing I want to on my list is this increase your tolerance to stress, which is something, it's a way of thinking stress as just something that your body has to go through, just like when you have to go through waking up, or digesting your food, or exercising. The stress that we tell about people, why I'm stressed, it's negative, right? It obviously has a negative connotation, but the goal here for me is not take stress out of your life. The news are not great. There is always going to be stress, right? There's always going to be something in your life that it's causing your body a little bit of strain, right? And that's normal. And what we have to change here, and that's my biggest challenge, is to make those situations not as hard on your body. Not, your body will have oh, it's a difficult conversation, great, I'm gonna just have that conversation. All those stressful things may be looked in a different way, that is just something your body has to go through. And if your body is ready for it, because you know how to control your emotions, you know how to control your breathing, then it's not going to be so affecting you so much. Hope that made sense. Stress doesn't have to be that negative. Okay, so now the good part, the breath work. And I stylishly highlighted the part of the word here, work, because, as everything, we need to put time and effort to this as well, just as exercise, just as, taking care of your diet, or like, what you eat healthy, all those things. It doesn't come easy, right? All this needs to be, you need to set a time in your schedule to create those changes, right? All about the habit changes and the habit implementation that I talked before. So I didn't ask you guys that, but if you have pen and paper there, or if you would like to put it on your phone, or you just have a mental note, I just want you to create or set intentions for this practice right now. It could be for this practice, or it could be for, a little bit more broad, but for setting intentions for how you're going to go over the next few weeks or months in relation to your sleep, and what do you want from this, right? How do you want breath work to help you? Do you want to sleep longer? Do you want to sleep better? Do you want to wake up feeling rested? Do you want to be ready for work and not be sluggish and not be just unfocused? So you can write it down on a piece of paper. You can just on your mind, on your phone. So that serves as a commitment too, right? And then we're gonna start. So the first technique that I want to share with you is the 1-2 ratio. And the 1-2 ratio is the 1 goes for the inhale time, and number 2 goes for the exhale time. So the goal is to create double your exhale time. Sorry, I don't know if I said that right on the first time. 1 inhale, 2 exhale. So you're gonna check your inhale time. So you can do it right now as I explained to you. So you're gonna just take a moment and see how long does it take for your inhale. And then you're gonna match the exhale. So you're gonna do that same amount of time to exhale, and add 1 second on that exhale every few breaths until it doubles. So let's put a number here. If your inhale goes in 3 seconds, so you take 3 seconds to inhale, you're gonna do a 3-second inhale and then a 4-second exhale. And then you're gonna repeat that breath maybe 2 or 3 times. And then on the following exhale, you're gonna do a 5 seconds. And then you're gonna keep that 3 in, 4 out, 3 in, 4 out. And then you're gonna do 3 in, 5 out, 3 in, 5 out. And then you're gonna do 3 in, 6 out, 3 in, 6 out. And then that's when you are doubling your inhale time. Everybody's gonna have your own inhale time. So this is a technique, or this is a practice that you're gonna do without me here telling you to breathe in and out. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to practice this. And I'm just going to, actually, I'm not going to advise, but if you can lie down, it's better if you can lie down and actually um, uh, be in a more comfortable position. If you can just recline on your chair, that's all right too. It's really up to you. So you can start anytime now. So start counting your inhales, double the exhale one by one, adding 1 second at a time every 2 or 3 exhales. So if you're already lying down, just try to notice your body touching the bed or the chair. Try to notice how you feel on your body, where the tension is, if the tension is on your neck, if the tension is on your cheeks or jaw. See if you feel any tension on your fingers. Open your fingers. Let go of any tension you have, especially on the exhale time. As you breathe in and out, notice the air going through your nose. If you want to breathe out through your mouth, you can. Try to purse your lips a little bit when you're breathing out, if you're breathing out through your mouth. You might be feeling a little bit of sensation that you want to take a bigger, deeper breath. And if you are feeling that, it's totally normal. Try to not go on that urge to take a bigger, deeper breath. Try to control your inhales to last those 3 seconds. And then decrease the intensity of the exhale so you can last a little longer. Continue to notice the tension and just releasing that on the exhale. And this is your practice. At any time that you need to go back to your regular breathing, that's okay. In the beginning, is this very, very common. And if you can't tolerate what we are doing right now, you can maintain a ratio that it's a little less on the exhale. But keep breathing out and getting all this tension away with your breath out. Keep noticing your body on the floor or on the bed, the pressure that you are, creating in your skin and your clothes, noticing all those details helps you to stay in your body, and the counting helps too. Feel free to let go of this breath and start going back to your regular breathing. You can stay in this position for the next exercise. You can just hear my voice if you're not looking at the screen. This last one that we did, this 1-to-2 ratio breathing pattern, It's a breathing pattern that I would recommend doing anytime that you want to, sleep, relax, create a sensation of rest. And the next breathing pattern, it's really probably my favorite one, and it's the one that I do the most. It's been shown to improve your your resting heart rate, your blood pressure improves, decreases your blood pressure, and improves your HRV, which is a measure of your that we get that contributes to um, like it's kind of like a health measure. So anybody that it can improve your HRV, it's doing good for your general health, and also improves subjective feelings of stress. So you can't measure stress, but it's subjective feelings of stress are highly reduced with this technique. So this is a very, very simple technique, and it's a 4-second inhale and a 6 seconds exhale. I will just put a little bit of a metronome here. If you're not familiar with a metronome, it's just something that kind of ticks. People use for music sometimes. It just gives you the seconds. I don't know if you can hear it from my phone. Maybe if anybody can just give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. Perfect. Thank you. So the metronome is just basically counting the seconds. So you just have to, so it creates a pace for you. But you still have to count. And this is, part of the exercise too, is to be focusing on the counting as it gets you to be, together with you, not having your mind just to go elsewhere, and creates that, you know, creates that sensation that you are there for this breath. So you can start doing it, and like when we are in a group, people might be able to do the 6 seconds exhale, but people might not be. So I'm gonna let you guys decide if 6 is okay for you, and or just kind of do as you did on the last exercise. So you can do um the way that it suits you the best. If you do 4 and then 5 exhale, that's okay, and then you feel like you can do another second out, then you can do that. Okay, so let's start. You can hear the sound of the metronome, the pacing. As the last technique, you're gonna feel what your body is telling you. Tension, let go. The sensation that you need to be perfect, let that go too. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to be focusing on your breathing, following the cueing of your body, and bringing that breath, calmness, and resting, all those things that you need. There's a few things that I'm going to be telling you here. As you breathe in, You're going to be focusing on your belly, all the circumference around your belly. See if you can feel the sides of your ribs to increase in size when you take a breath in. And then when you take a breath out, you're going to feel that moving in again. Feel the back, your lower back, reaching for the bed when you breathe in. And if you put your hands on your chest, you're going to feel the least movement as possible. The movement is going to be on your lower abdomen as you breathe in and out. Notice any tension on your belly. Keep noticing the air coming in and out of your nose. Make the air smooth. Feel your belly going out when you breathe in and returning back when you breathe out. Your chest is moving very, very little. You're creating a calm feeling in your whole body. You might be able to feel your heart beating. You can put your hand on your heart as well. And you're going to continue to let go of any tensions you have in your legs, in your arms. And at any time, you can go back to your regular breathing. This is your practice. At any point, you can go back to your regular breathing and continue again. Now, feel your belly one more time. Notice that big breath going in and your belly going out. And on your last exhale, get all that tension out with your exhale. I hope you feel a little less tense and a little bit more calm now. And you can all have a seat again if you are lying down. I will say that this breathing pattern that you guys just did is one that you can always go back to and improve on your time. You can always start with 2-3 minutes here and there. Anytime that you need a little bit of calm in your life, you can bring that to you, even if it's 1 minute. If you can't do more than that, you can do it many times a day, but especially during the evening time, it's very, very good. But ideally, you would be doing this for at least 5 minutes in a sitting in the future, and up to 10-15 minutes. And once you start doing 5-10 minutes, it's going to be really, really easy to continue, and it might not be as difficult or as with the feeling that you need to take a bigger, deeper breath. But that it's very, very normal in the beginning. The last breathing technique that I want to bring to you guys is one that it's not for sleeping, but it's for the ones that, or for the times that you feel really, really tired in the morning, or you need a pick me up, you need something to kind of like wake you up because you didn't have a good sleep. And I apologize because I am a little sniffy. I have a little bit of a stuffy nose. Have a little cold, but this sniff and sigh is a technique that I'm gonna perform now, so you can see it. And it has 2 sniffs and a big sigh at the end. And you can do it for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Wait to see if you got that rush, if you got that warmer feeling in your body. And do it one more time if you feel that you need to. But this sniff and sigh it's 2 sniffs, so it's and this is just the pace that I do, but you can do a faster pace, you can do a slower pace. It will play around with the side of your nervous system that it's going for it, that it's actually giving you that alertness. So the faster you do, you're gonna get that going faster, maybe. And maybe for someone that has a little bit of anxiety, you don't want to be doing too fast. You can still do it. So you can do it as a lighter pace, like so you can try now just to see how it feels, but I wouldn't do it too much at night. And this is the sniff and sigh breathing pattern for alertness in the morning. And after we did what we did, I just want you to go back to your notes or your mind and just notice how you felt. Was it easy? Was it difficult? What was that you felt the most in those breathings that we just did? What felt difficult today might not be difficult tomorrow. Depends on how your body how your body is now. Every day might be different, but it's a good thing to maybe pick one of those techniques or one of the first 2 and be consistent with that for a few weeks, and then change and see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But the integration is really just to have a mental note or a physical note of how it went for you guys. Now we're gonna very quickly do the bolt score. And it's a very easy one as well. So you just need to get a stopwatch on your phone or on your watch or whatever you have. And I'm going to ask you guys to send me a message with what your score is. So this is a tolerance to CO2. CO2 is one of the gases that we create during breathing. And that's a big one in relation to anxiety. And your tolerance to CO2, it's going to create more or less feelings of anxiety or overbreathing. So I want you to just go for your natural breath. Have your your clock ready, or your time, your stopwatch ready. And how it's going to go, and I want you really to do that with me right now, is you're going to take a few regular breaths, and then you're going to take one last breathe in and one last breathe out. And then once you breathe out for the last time, you're going to hold your breath. So you can plug your nose or in mouth. You can breathe in or out. And then you start your stopwatch. And that, and you're going to have that stopwatch going. And then at your first need to breathe in again, that's when you're going to stop the watch, right? That's going to be your score. So the seconds that you got, that you hold your breath after that last breathe out, that's going to be your score. Does that make sense? Thumbs up for me. And if you need me to explain again, just maybe hold your hands up and I'll explain again. Okay, Gio. So you're going to have your clock, your stopwatch ready. You're going to take a few breaths. And you guys that already got it, you can start doing it and send me your score on by message. So you're going to take a few breaths. You're going to take one last breathe out, and then you start your stopwatch and plug your nose and your mouth. You're going to hold your breath until you feel that first need to breathe again. And that's when you're going to, if that's the time, you're going to stop the watch and give me your score. The first sign that you want to breathe again, it might be the sensation that you want to swallow. It might be a little bit of tweak on your diaphragm, on your belly. Those are all signs that you want to breathe again. Obviously, you know when you want to breathe again, right? And that's the one that you want to stop the stopwatch and give me your results. It's 9 o'clock now, guys. I'm sorry I'm a little late. So anybody that wants to share their scores, please do. Anybody needs any more, oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. So perfect. So anything, and if you don't want to write anymore, I'm gonna tell you what means to have a 22 second, a 12 second, a 18 second. So anything that it's more than 20 it's okay. What we want to see on a person that is doing great, it's about 40. But anything after 20 is good, and anything under that, is you can improve. That's the greatness from this. Lower scores just mean that you can improve more and more and more and more. And also one thing to point out is how you felt. Was it easy, or was it really, really hard to do this? Did you feel like awful that you needed air, or was it kind of like, oh no, it felt okay? So those are also pertinent things that we watch on those results, because it is a subjective result. So basically, this a lower result means that you might be having a little bit more anxiety, things that are not necessarily super stressful, they are stressful for you. Menopause will just normally make it a little bit less, those results a little bit less good. So lower results because of menopause. That's very, very common. So you can use this information, but that exercise, the second one, will increase for sure. All the exercises will increase for sure your tolerance. So it's just an opportunity you have to practice more. Okay, so that we did that, and then what I wanted you to do, and you don't have to do this right now, and why this is called blueprint, right? I want this to feel like something that all those things that I said, what's realistic in your lifestyle right now, what you can implement like over the next couple of weeks, right? That will help you sleep better, right? How much of those concerns are really affecting your life, right? How much you're willing to compromise to feel better. And sometimes we need structure and accountability, and I am one of those. Like exercise for me is really, really hard, and I need a structure, and I need someone to be kind of pushing me. Gosh. So yeah, make sure you write at least 3 things that you can do today or tomorrow, that it's realistic for you to implement like yesterday, because I really want you to succeed on the things that I said, or that I shared with you today. Otherwise, it's just information, right? Otherwise, it's just something that it's going to be lost in a couple of weeks. And if you need accountability, if you need that extra push, right? I am here, and I'm very, very happy to bring you a little bit of news on my Breath Reset program, which is, I've been doing this for the last 6 months. This specific plan, the Breath Reset, but the new thing is that I'm implementing the group support and community over those sessions that I will do one-on-one. So it's a treatment plan. It's a one-on-one treatment plan structure, right? That will have an assessment and a midway session and a reassessment session after in a period of 2 months. Plus, you're going to have group support community from online group sessions that you'll be able to troubleshoot the techniques, share your experience, and continue to practice and continue to create breath work on your day-to-day activity, right? Like as it is exercise, as it is having a healthy meal. All those things sometimes need to be looked really, really closely. And third thing is educational tools. So detailed description of the video, of the techniques that I'll give you, guided meditations, and pertinent resources that I feel like are good for each of it, individually, right? Depending of your concern, like menopause, there's tons of things for menopause that not necessarily going to be pertinent for gut health or gut issues that someone else might have. And the transformational benefits, reduce stress and anxiety. I have patients telling me, like, even after a couple sessions, they have big changes on those 2 things, which for me is just amazing. How, I know breath is powerful, but it's actually is if you're doing the work. Enhance resilience, as we talked before, increase energy and focus, and improve work and exercise performance. This is a big one, and it's also probably our next workshop theme that I'm gonna bring. But so I'll keep you guys posted for this. And thank you so much for your time. I know it felt really rushed for me. I always want to tell you more. This is as much as I can fit in an hour, which is a reasonable amount of time that I can expect you to be here with me. And I'm very grateful that you all came and took time of your busy schedules to be here and be actually present and be giving you the time to learn maybe a little bit different things uh, to help your health. This is my biggest passion, is to create um, you know, resources and tips that may be improving a little bit of your sleep or your anxiety. So I'm really, really happy that you all came. This will be sent for you. If you're listening to it now, you know you were sent. Here are my social media things. This QR code, it goes straight to my Jane app. If you want to book 20-minute complimentary discovery call to learn more, how can we work together? How can we go deeper on this with the Breath Reset Collective? I'm very happy that I'm going to be offering this group feature for you. Please do. And no problem. If you just want to chat a little bit about the mouth taping, I would love to chat with you about it. And the last thing I want to give to you, this quote that makes so much sense to me. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So until you do something about this or anything that bothers you, or it's creating a life that you don't want to have, you have to change something, right? You have to get a hold of it, make it as make it conscious, acknowledge it. And that's really, really working for me. To acknowledge the things that are not working in my life, and not call it fate. And thank you so much. I hope you have the best sleep. I will send things for you over the next couple days. I'm gonna read all the messages here. Sorry, let's see. Thank you so much. Awesome. Any questions, please contact me, okay? Have a great night, everybody. And I will hopefully see you soon.